From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is part two of our story from the morning. Advocate is reporting the Maryland filing for the 11 families in the class action lawsuit against the Department of Justice has issued at least 20 nearly identical subpoenas to hospitals nationwide as part of what the families describe as an accelerating campaign targeting practitioners providing gender-affirming care for minors. The care at issue remains legal in the states where the families live and where the hospitals operate. For many parents of transgender children, the lawsuit reflects a growing fear that seeking medically recognized care could expose their families to federal scrutiny, even in states where that treatment remains legal. The complaint argues that without broad nationwide intervention, the Department of Justice will continue obtaining sensitive patient information hospital by hospital before families even have an opportunity to challenge the subpoenas in court. That concern intensified last week after the Justice Department sought enforcement of a subpoena against Rhode Island Hospital in federal court in Texas. The court granted the request within hours and without notice to affected patients, the filing states. This case takes aim at a dangerous and chilling example of government overreach. National Center for LGBTQ Rights Legal Director Shannon Minter said in a statement, the Trump administration should not be able to demand access to and review private medical records for no legitimate purpose. The Justice Department has said its investigations relate to potential healthcare fraud and other legal violations connected to gender-affirming treatment for minors. But the Maryland filing argues that the subpoenas lack legitimate investigative grounding and instead function as a political tool designed to suppress access to care that remains lawful in many states. It's only unlawful in President Trump's mind. The plaintiffs argue that once medical records are turned over to the federal government, the harm becomes irreversible, even if courts later determine the subpoenas were unlawful. The proposed class compromises families whose transgender children received care at hospitals, including Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., Connecticut Children's Medical Center, Michigan Medicine, and Rady Children's Hospital in California. The families are seeking emergency nationwide relief, blocking the administration from obtaining or retaining patients' records while the litigation proceeds. History has shown what happens when the government collects lists of the members of groups it disfavors. Sounds kind of like Nazi Germany. Attorney Eve Hill of Brown, Goldstein, and Levy, LLP, said in a statement, "We cannot allow that history to repeat itself." That's the news blast for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.